G-Talk. I'm going to do a...
No. Salute. No. Wait. Where is my camera?
So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Oh, my God.
Now you know. Light it
You
up.
should be right here, damn it.
I know, man. I miss you, man.
Oh, my God.
Make them shiver. They've been waiting for the real man. Time to...
Yeah, the real man's right next to me. What's up, everybody? Yay.
Going on, brother? Que lo que, mi
It's
hermano?
the G-Talk.
G-Talk, baby.
Let's go, baby. Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
We're warmed the hell up, man. Let me just get that. Yeah. What's up, my man?
What's going on, brother? Que lo que?
The crowd missed you.
Missed the crowd.
This is all right, guys. Thank you. It's Ja and your boy Frankie.
Frankie, que lo que, familia?
What's up, everybody? We're gonna get right into it in a second, but let me introduce. It's G-Talk. Thanks, everybody, for listening, for watching, whatever, listening and watching, listening. This is part 3 of headline hot takes, and we warmed up with 4 topics before, and we're ready, and we're ready to go, kid. It's like that. You ever see that part in Any Given Sunday when the Willie Beeman, he goes to him, when you see the linebacker's fingers go white, you know he's coming. You know, and it's like, that's how I feel. I got my fingers are going white. Let's go. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to throw it over to you, kid. Let's get right into it, bro. I'm ready. I'm raring. Let's go.
Let's just get right into it. So, VA or VIP only. Trump's new health plan runs like MAGA country club. So basically, Trump's latest VA rule lets doctors opt out of treating patients based on political leanings or relationship status. Veterans are now reportedly being asked if they've attended rallies before getting a blood test. The VA insists it's just red tape cleanup, but critics say it's medical gatekeeping dressed up like a loyalty test. Apparently, it's no longer thank you for your service, it's who you vote for and are you married? So, I got to ask you, when your local VA starts operating like an exclusive golf club, do we call it patriotism or just par for the Trump course? And by the way, how many strokes was it again?
I got a birdie, I think, or an 8. I'm not sure. And let me just say, also on there, you saw probably in red, or I don't know if I put it just an update on my side. Up here, it does say a claim by News Nation is that it's false and that it was all misunderstood. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's something that's not outside the realm of possibility. I got the clock going. Well, Frankie, here's the deal. I'm going to assume that it's possible, right? I don't know if it's true now because some people are saying it's bullshit. Here's my take on it. First of all, if it is true, it's absolutely despicable. Is it not? I mean, we talk about this is not just this is not just Medicaid or Medicare, which even if it was that would be despicable. This is the VA, right? This is the Veterans Association. These are the people that fought. And I believe their families too, right? It's not just the soldiers. I think it's kind of like the, what's the bank that's out, USAA or something like that, or whatever the hell it is, or something like that, right? Where the family's included. So I believe the VA, it does that. If this is true, it's ridiculous. I hope it's not. But here's what I wrote here about this, because we're getting to a place where it's not even getting blurry, the lines between common sense and absolute fucking hysteria. It's getting dangerous. And as I said in the previous pod, part 2, where we talked about Trump's mental health, and we're not therapists, we can't diagnose, we don't know what's going on, but man, is it fucking obvious. Something's wrong. Some of these decisions, I don't know. Real quick, Frankie, what do you think is worse? The people that are letting him do all this shit, or the fact that he's wanting to do all this shit? What's worse? If he doesn't know where the fuck's going on and he's demented, as some people say, I'm not claiming that he is or isn't. What's worse, his handlers or himself?
It's hard to say. It's hard to
I
say.
think
I
it's
think
there's an obvious answer. It's always the handlers. I mean, if he's truly demented and doesn't know any better, someone should stop him and say, "What the fuck?"
well, no, because they do, and then they lose their jobs.
Well, I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's a good point. But I guess my point is here, and here's what I'm leading up to. I said this, if this might be true or not, but if it's possible, it should scare the shit out of everyone, because we've already seen what they did with women's health rights, Frankie, as far as they're tracking women's cars now going out of state, where you
Hmm.
know how you pay tolls automatically and you get a thing from the. Now they're saying, oh, we got a notification. You went to Illinois. It's like, motherfucker, what kind of police state are we in? How dare you? This is nonsense. And it's starting to proliferate into these types of things like the VA. It's going to start going. There's something called, I don't want to get into this right now, but a company called Palantir, which is a big data harvesting like conglomerate company that's sucking all the data from IRS, Social Security, health data, all the stuff, and compiling it. And essentially, you've heard of the social credit score that people say China has. We're kind
Yeah.
of doing some sort of similar type of thing here in America, and Palantir is leading the way. And why do I bring that up? Because all this stuff, and I wrote here, this is an example of Trump truly finally destroying institutions. It's starting to happen before our eyes. It's real. It's not a game, and it's happening. And he's ruling by executive order. And here's my question. There's two questions, and this is what I'm going to throw to you. Number one, how can one man have so much power? And number two, where are the fucking courts? Why are we even having to go through this bullshit? 5 months is way too much. What do you have to say about this? Because I'm sick of this nonsense. This is garbage.
Yeah, well, he's already fired judges for disagreeing with him. And if they disagree with him and can't fire them, he'll insult them and their families, calling them radical left lunatics and all these things. Like I said, and I keep saying in every freaking pod, you disagree with Trump, he is just going to insult you as if he does not have enough flaws already that you could like rip them to shreds, like give me Jimmy Kimmel's writers over here, so give me a hand because I will gladly plaster him every day, like Jimmy and others do. It's oh, Christ.
But what would that do? It's not. He's still getting away with this. Every day we're talking about this
Yeah,
garbage.
and the rest of the Republicans are spineless. Like everybody that allows this to happen, and call this normal, and say that this is for the best thing for America. It's they're spineless. They don't belong in Congress. They're a bunch of punks, and they we they could those seats could be filled with people with better ideas that do want the country to go further in just being the best we could be.
Well, Frankie, here's the scenario that I think is a doomsday scenario, as far as not with Iran and nuclear, but let's say that the Democrats do make waves in the midterms next year, and Trump somehow survives. I'm telling you, I've got a premonition, but let's say he does survive until, and I'm not saying I'm gonna, again, I maybe through impeachment or 25th Amendment or maybe some unfortunate health incident that I hope does not happen. But he's not the healthiest he's not uh what is it, the sharpest bulb in the thing. What did he say one day? He said something really ridiculous. But
Mhm.
let's say all of a sudden the Democrats come into power and they start pushing against him, doing all these things. He's going to ignore them too. Yeah, he's going to ignore the courts are already starting to realize, holy shit. There was an article, I wish I had it on screen, where the article said something about the judges are trying to get their own kind of army together because they realize that with the Secret Service and the armed forces at the behest of DHS, Kristi Noem, Ice Barbie, and Donald Trump, you have no chance of getting any of the stuff that you say should happen to happen. In other words, the Arbrego Garcia thing, the courts keep saying to the government, we told you not to do it. And they're like, oops, we told you not to do it. We're going to hold you in contempt. And they're like, you know what? Fuck off.
Yeah,
Come and get
yeah.
us, bitch. Come and get it. And eventually, if the Democrats have a spine and they come into power and they start making these laws, they start going to court and start winning, Trump and his peeps aren't going to. This is going to get ugly, kid. I guess what I'm trying to say, it's going to get ugly. People will die. You remember what happened on J6? maybe there'll be a liberal version of it, and I guarantee it won't be rubber bullets, and it's not just going to be Ashley Babbitt. Sorry, girl. Um, it's going to be thousands of people that will die because Trump's going to say shoot every one of them, just fucking
Yeah.
shoot them all, and you're going to see something very ugly. I hope I'm wrong, but this is where we're going, man. He's got powers through. I don't know. It's like I'm living in a fucking nightmare. I'm sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time, but what do you think about that? Do you think I'm going crazy and this is hyperbole?
No, dude. Like everything with Trump is a freaking legitimate possibility. Like the most wildest things to deny healthcare or to reject healthcare because you're a Democrat, because you're not married, because you're gay. You're a veteran of the United States, and you will be denied care via VA. And now that I was doing a little bit of research as we were getting into this, and as of June 16th. U.S. Senator Patty Murray from Washington, she said that it's outrageous that Trump and Secretary Collins are effectively greenlighting discrimination against the whole swaths of veteran population and the doctors who serve them. Under Trump's new rules, veterans can be blocked from getting care, and the doctors can be barred from working at VA hospitals for the sole reason that they may
Fuck.
be unmarried, belong to a union, are registered Democrats, identify as gay or trans, and it's just appalling and un-American because these are service members that defended our country in uniform, whether they're Democrat or Republican, married, not married. They have already proven that they're worthy of VA care. Um,
That's insane. I mean,
yeah,
again, it could, maybe it's not true, but I mean, anything's possible. We talked about a fucking reality show called The American in a couple pods ago about, immigrants fighting to make Model Ts and then trying to do this is, again, I'll say it one more time. How can one man have such power? And where are the fucking courts? What are we doing here? Why is this taking so long? And why, when the courts say something, they say, whatever. Again, you might not be able to go and arrest the president. Okay. Maybe you can't even arrest the vice president. I get it. But you know what, motherfucker? You could arrest the guy that was on the plane that flew Garcia back and forth. You could arrest the guy that loaded him on the plane. You could arrest fucking Pam fucking Bondi for the FBI. You could arrest her stupid ass. You could arrest Kristi Noem. But here's the thing. I have a prediction, and we'll move on to the next thing in a second, that if all hell breaks loose, I've recorded something. Again, I'll post it one day if I have the balls, because it predicts a dystopia that will happen in this country and everything will fall apart. It'll become Armageddon, and it starts with martial law. Do you realize that Kristi Noem would become the second most important person in this country if Trump did martial law, took over the Insurrection Act, and then basically said fuck you to all the courts and everyone else? He had total control. He would have the Secret Service, which is under Kristi Noem's direction. She would be the second most important person, because so long as she directs the Secret Service to protect her and the president, fuck JD Vance, they don't need him. He'd be he's impenetrable and no one can stop him, and he would be a dictator, and he could slowly literally take people out or jail them, send them over to El Salvador. I talk about it in a series of pods that I don't have the balls to put up, because when I did it and I logically went X plus Y equals Z, and I figured out, how bad can this really get? Kid, it got bad really quick. Me and ChatGPT figured out it doesn't take long before martial law, it's Insurrection Act, martial law, and then the direction of DHS to make sure the Secret Service is protecting her and the president. And the president is impenetrable. He's a true king. The laws are not followed. The courts are null and void, and Congress is bullshit. Nothing would happen. How does that make you feel when I just said that?
It's scary freaking stuff, dude. It's very, very scary stuff, because all these people that they just keep saying America first, America first. Is not America first. It's Trump first. And whatever he said, I made up the term America first, so I get to say what it is.
First of all, he co-opted it. Others have said it many times in the past. It's bullshit.
You know what I'm saying?
Make America Great Again was not something he came up with. That was a Reagan thing. America first has been said a billion times. Fuck him. But go on.
Yeah, but this is the extent of his craziness. He's like, oh, I made it up, so I get to tell you what it really means. And is it's not a joke because it is getting to the point that is like, yeah, if you don't have to obey the courts, if you could really do whatever the hell you want to do, you know what I'm saying? We're not a democracy anymore. This is we just went from being the world's superpower to the world's biggest and saddest joke.
Well, to quote former President Obama, we're the closest we've ever been to an autocracy, and I would have to agree with him. But and actually, we move on to the next one, kid. This is a perfect way to move on to our next topic, how the world sees us, and I can't wait to hear your take on this because I know you have some. I'll just read it. I know you're gonna talk about this. So you ready? So uh, G7, more like G hate. Trump bails. That almost looked like balls. Trump balls. Trump bails, blames, and breaks the world stage. Trump bailed on G7, and I have an article on the screen. Trump bailed on G7 like a diva chasing a better camera angle. Thanks, ChatGPT. Ditching diplomacy mid-summit to flirt with war and rage tweet about Macron's thirst, while world leaders scramble to prevent World War III. Trump praised Putin, skipped Ukraine talks, and called ceasefire efforts fake news. Then, because performance is always part of the deal, as my name says here, Frankie, um, he dropped a stack of blank papers that he signed. I have a video proving that with the UK Prime Minister, who he mistook for the European Union. Brexit much? The summit's goal of unity? Nuked. What's left? Trump's solo war tour coming soon to a bunker near you. So Frankie, here's the question, my friend. When G7 becomes G hate, are we still pretending global diplomacy, is a thing, or are we all just in Trump's season finale? Before you talk, and I said let me see if I got the video here. I do. Check this out. I don't have sound. You don't need sound. For proof, just play it, kid. Oh no, there is sound.
Oh, I just signed a beautiful deal. It's all in here. Look, and oops, and all blank pieces of paper.
All blank pieces of paper, kid. I mean,
You know,
and a very important document. I'll start the clock here, kid. That there was sound there. I hope I don't get whatever for that, but go on.
all right. So that is not the first time that happened that he signs a blank piece of paper. It's not the first time.
It's not the
I
first time.
I vividly remember when he caught COVID during his first presidency. He went to Walter Reed Hospital, and he took a picture with a folder that looks similar to that, and just like making believe he was writing on it. You see, like his signature, and the page was blank. And he says, Fox News says, even while battling COVID, Donald Trump does not stop working for the American people. And all the MAGA was like, oh my God, look at how great. That was a blank piece of paper, dude. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
it
Like,
blank piece of paper. I'll put video of him talking. There's no sound. Keep talking. It's him talking about all sorts of nonsense it's
oh yeah.
ridiculous. Go on.
At this point in time, he's talking about. I think it was something about something that has nothing to do with the G7, and the freaking minister has to come in and stop him
Yep.
and say, well, let's get this meeting started. I'm going to have to use my authority here to stop this person from embarrassing himself and our neighbor to the north, because to the south, because this he thinks he's in America. No, we're over here. We could do things a little bit more classy. You know what I'm saying? So it's freaking embarrassing. And the part where has to leave early, somebody said something to the effect of, "Oh, he's probably got to go back to deal with the Iran thing," and he calls it fake flipping news. He said, "No, what I'm dealing with is much, much bigger than the Iran war or
He's talking
anything."
about Putin. He's talking about Putin right now. How it should be the G hate. I mean, eight.
Uh,
And with Putin, he's talk about it right now.
yeah, and there's a reason why Russia is not in it, and I think that was discussed beforehand. I wish I had the notes so I could refer to it. but he had to leave because he had a very, very important responsibility to do over at the White House, which is why he left early. Ja, do you remember or know why he had to go
Well,
over?
I think the reason why because you know what happened. Yeah, was it today? Wait, he left yesterday and today. I don't even know what day it is anymore, kid.
It was 2 days ago.
Yeah, the next day was supposed to be Vladimir Zelensky coming to talk, and they're supposed to do like the Prime Minister of Canada, who I'm starting to like, Carney a lot. He's a pretty cool dude. Um, he said, and today is the most important day of the whole thing. He kind of winked over to Macron like, hey, yeah, dipshits out of here. Let's get to work. And as I put here, it says here, G7 leaders meet, allies ask, is Trump with us or against us? Kid, they were going to do all the work when all the rest of the leaders, Modi came from India and Vladimir Zelensky, and they're talking about all this stuff. There's even a picture, I could probably put it up on screen eventually, where Zelensky's just sitting there talking to Macron. Like, what am I missing, kid? Can I just get to it? What the fuck am I missing that everyone's seeing where the rest of the world, it doesn't get it like we do? I'm sorry. They don't get it either like we do. I don't know if that makes sense. In other words, they also don't see what everyone else sees. What are we all missing? So if you said that there's 77 million people that might be MAGA, let's say all 77 million are MAGA, right? What the fuck are 7 billion people not seeing that 77 million are? I don't get it. Nobody understands what's the value of propping up this knucklehead and why we keep throwing him on the world stage. I wrote here, I put a total embarrassment. All that was missing was a tan suit. What the fuck is the world thinking of us right now? He praised Putin again. What does Putin have on this guy, kid? Why does he keep talking about Putin and propping him up? You telling me he's not a Russian asset? If all of that was fake news, I'm not trying to go back Russia, but at some point in time, is he just trying to be a homer and trying to say things to get people riled up? What does he really love about Putin so much? What the fuck am I missing here?
I don't want to go all conspiracy, but
No, 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 no. On the face of it.
I would say that once there's a lot of things that are conflicts of interests, and
Go
once he's no
on.
longer
Do we
president,
have time for that? There's a lot of things. Go on.
I think once he's no longer president, um, these things are going to come out, and there's going to be indictments. He's going to need somewhere to
You
go
think?
because, and I think Putin is going to keep the bed warm for him or something because that's just me, and obviously I'm having fun with this, but it's a possibility. Because there are a lot of questionable conflicts of interest. So it's that's just one theory. I don't know what Putin has on him. What the rest of the world says. I've been to several. There's a lot of on TikTok and Instagram, influencers that they say if you're not from the States, if you're from somewhere that is not the United States, please tell us what your people think of us. Not one positive
No,
thing,
no.
and I only went through, I don't know, 20 minutes of scrolling. Not one positive thing. There was like, how do you guys vote for him twice? Like
Listen,
you,
50 million MAGA fans can't be wrong. But what about the 7 billion people that are also watching that are like, what the fuck are y'all doing over there? This doesn't make
you know,
any sense.
we fought wars to stop people like Trump in other countries.
I mean, there's
You know
people
what I'm
like
saying?
Orban in Hungary, that piece of shit, who was mini Trump. And then you got the asshole down who's hopefully going to be jailed in Brazil. What's that? Trudeau, not Trudeau, the other asshole that was the leader of Brazil, not Lula, the other guy, whatever, that they call him the Trump of the tropics. All these
Mm.
leaders are all starting to kind of, look like each other, literally.
Yeah, yeah. And there was, I think Australia had an election a few months back, and
Yep.
there was a guy that acted like Trump,
Then he
and
lost.
he lost. And there was like two other presidents in two other countries with similar that acted like
Yep.
Trump and completely lost the election because of that. And it's like good for them, because
But
otherwise,
Yeah, man. But sorry to interrupt. I want to ask you a quick question. I have a question here. We have about a minute here. Well, we go whatever as long as we want. We go as long as we can, which is pretty long. Question: is this the fall of the American empire? I mean, it's legitimate. And you talk about the Roman Empire. Not that we're an empire, but we've been talking about this we historians for decades now. I grew up in school learning about this. There was talk about that, in the '90s, that the American Empire was losing its luster. I don't think we've ever been closer than now.
I think the damage that has been done to this country is so severe. I don't know how many generations it's going to take for it to get better, but there's a lot of people that understand that if you talk and act a certain way, it is enough to get you votes. You don't have to come up with ideas on how to make the country better. All you have to say is Trump did win the 2020 election, and that's enough to get you a whole lot of votes, which is why so many people hold office in Republican chairs, is because they simply said there was fraud in the 2020 election. That's all. They didn't come up with no ideas.
And listen, Frankie, I'll agree with you. I think there's issues on both sides in this, where
of course,
politics is like a football game. You're on offense or defense, and depending who's got the ball, it's who's in power. This is not a new analogy. I'm not going to belabor the point here, but let me just say this real quick, and I'd love to hear your take on this. At what point in time do we do one of two things? Do we either stop giving credence to this sporting, like I said in a previous pod about the greatest reality show that we have on television right now? Say it with me. It's government. And essentially, this government reality show is getting old. I don't know what season we're on, but it should have been canceled a long time ago. We need to take off the jerseys, stop dealing with D and R and donkey and elephant and all this bullshit. About time to talk about what's really important. It's the laws and the different topics. I think too many people are saying canned things on both sides. It's, if you've got the ball and you're the Democrats, you're saying the same nonsense. There's actually kind of a mashup of all the Democrats saying the same shit in tweets. Then you got a mashup of all the Republicans going on Fox News and saying the same shit. It's obviously a handful of people on both sides that are leading the team in the huddle, and they're giving them the play. And just like the football analogy, they go out and they play. They do their part. And some of them want to get the ball and they cry for it. And when they get in the end zone, they celebrate. And that's what politics is. Throw me the goddamn ball. And you have one or two people that take control of the party and off they go. But this is like the coach or the owner. This is like the Jerry Jones Trump coming on the field and saying, I get the ball. Give me the ball. And they're like, kid, can you please get up in the owner's booth and leave us alone? He's not letting anyone play. He's taking the ball and leaving. At some point in time, we've got to get him out. But here's my question, a long-winded way of saying this. When he gets out, we're just going to go right back to the same fucking game. It's the same political bullshit. It's just uglier now. People took their pads off. They took their helmets off, and now people are getting hurt. Literally in Minnesota, and figuratively online, and in these. I watched a mashup on Midas Touch of congressional hearings. I can't even take it anymore. Both sides are just ridiculous. It's people screaming at each other. They ask a question, the guy starts talking, and then they start talking over him. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, even when Trump leaves, kid, and he's going to be going sooner or later, it's going to go right back to the same bullshit. We need either a third party, I'll get to it, or we need to ignore this and move on with our lives. What say you, and kind of put a bow on this bullshit?
Coño, where do we...
Should I start that now or not?
Yeah, because it's just the back and forth that is just never ending, like no time clock, extra overtime. It is
no rules, no penalties, just hit anyone below the bell. I mean, the analogy keeps going. I mean, it's a great analogy now that I think about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You left me speechless, bro. I don't know.
But let me. But do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Essentially, we've made politics as ugly as it's ever been. Some people could argue that politics made a turn in the 90s with Newt Gingrich. For those political nerds, go on your creepy friend who's always watching will help you with that. Google. Go find out who Newt Gingrich was. He turned politics on its head and took it to a whole different direction. And now it's uglier than it's ever been. And I don't think you could blame just Trump for that. You could blame a lot of these motherfuckers. But I'm not looking to blame. I'm looking to fix. How do we fix this? Do we get a third party? Because Elon Musk would fund a third party. They would instantly get funding. And you could get at least, I don't know, you could pick off 20, 30 important, influential people from both sides. You could get a credence right away. Frank, you don't need a third party to come in and take 50% of the vote. You just need enough in the House and in the Senate to take 15, 10% of the vote and sway it and not allow them to have the dominance that they do. Whoever's in power, put them at bay. All we need, I think, is a third party, because no one's going to ignore politics. It's too interesting. It's the fucking accident in the highway that nobody's willing to look away from. And for some people, it's the only thing that they talk about, like us. I mean, but
is it possible that we have 3 parties now?
No,
Probably not, because Republicans have become MAGA.
But real quick, before you made a quick point that I want to. So, what if there's some Democrats who don't like what's going on now with the Democrat Party, and then there's some conservatives that don't like MAGA, and they say, "Hey guys, girls, let's come together. Let's us 30 come together and form kind of a pseudo third party or a 2.5 party or whatever, a half party, and kind of do a coalition together. We could pull votes and we could be the most influential in the House and in the Senate. It would be very easy to do. You don't need, again, Frankie, you don't need a ton of them. You just need enough of them and the right funding. Elon Musk, you listening, kid? Get your fucking checkbook, kid. Fund this. And you would be the most powerful person in the world if you really wanted to. Not that I want him to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I've spope too much, man. What say you? Take us out here. What do you want to say before we go? This is the last part.
I like the idea. Let's 30 Democrats, 30 Republicans. Let's work together so see we could build something new, something that will revolutionize politics, and once that is. If that could happen, Christ, how embarrassing would that be, though? You know what I'm saying? It's like we've been trying to work together. We've been trying to work together this whole entire time to, make the country better overall. We could never agree on anything, but 30 here and 30 there managed to do it.
Well, listen, I've been talking about this for a couple of years now. No one's listening. I put it online. Something called the E Party. It's a play off the Tea Party, but it's the letter E for everybody or for energy, not for Elon. And basically, it's getting enough people, get it, together to form a third party so that they can control the vote and force things to happen in the House and Senate, and to stop this, to logjam it so it wouldn't make it to the president's desk. If you got enough people in the E Party that are representing everybody, the people, instead of Republicans or Democrats, they're representing everybody, they could have, with the right funding, enough power to put a logjam in Congress and the Senate. But here's the thing that's the whole thing, kid. It's all executive orders anyway. Nothing's going through Congress and the Senate. That's the problem. So maybe the E Party will be something for the future, but for now, it's not enough.
Yeah.
One day.
One day, hopefully we get you in there and you get this thing started.
Oh God, can you imagine?
I think you're perfect for it.
Would you vote for me, kid?
100%.
No, I don't know if I'd vote for me, but thank you for that. Well, listen, this is I gotta go. You gotta go. I won't say where, but take us out, kid. This was wonderful. This is beautiful, and I think we've influenced. Influenced. We don't want to do that. We've inspired. We've educated, and maybe we've entertained. So it was great. But take us out, kid.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
And again, look in the descriptions. We always have a 988 thing for anyone. If you're not feeling it, if you're feeling like you wanted to get the fuck out of this nonsense, I understand where you're coming from. We both do. We're not therapists, but we're living, breathing human beings. 988. God bless everybody. We'll see y'all again soon.
We've
covered all the reasons. My love, it's time for a reset.